is not familiar, the body gets into difficulties. So we have to develop nutritional factors. We have to constitute our bodies according to rules of health. We have to therefore put a certain control over the fulfillment of bodily appetites. We have to take care of the rugged side of its physical amenity. We have to nourish it adequately. We have to protect it in all ways that we can from emergencies, accidents, and disasters. One of the problems that we have in the body, of course, today is nutrition. The nutritional factor of the body, of course, is entirely chemical. Nutrition has to do with getting the proper food to the body. This in itself is rather complicated procedure because opinions on the subject of nutrition are numerous and diversified. Probably in the long run, most persons have to work it out by trial and error until they find what is good for them. But one thing is obvious, namely, that there are junk foods. And these junk foods are for the most part the kinds we like the best. We've had long experience in enjoying the pleasures of the dinner table, and we do not like to be frustrated into some kind of a diet that tastes as though we're living on cocaine all the time. This requires control, but obviously junk food is a problem with the body, and we have to gradually wake up to the importance of keeping it nourished properly. This is one of the uses that we have to make of our time allowance. If we wish to be as healthy as possible for the years of life, we must discipline ourselves in the control of physical appetite. Now, the next level above this, which we consider constantly, is the emotional life of the individual. The emotional life is the life of art, music, affection, and friendship, and the more intimate and kindly relationships of life. The emotional life is fulfilled in the expression of various moral and emotional qualities. It is expressed through love, it is expressed through service and compassion. But the emotional nature must be trained just as surely as the physical. Those small stimulations which create only tension and stress are like the junk foods in relation to the physical body. The emotions must be nourished on a proper type of nutrition. The individual's emotions should be given adequate expression under discipline. These emotions should be centered upon creativity, understanding, sympathy, compassion, and service. Every individual should have some emotional expression of the beautiful. Every once in a while, we find someone living an entire lifespan with practically no emotional reactions. They have had very few friends, they lose the ones they have. They live alone, even if they are in the houses with others. They have no reaction to the simple joys or beauties or sights of life. They have very little fun or humor and joy or emotional factor. But the individual who considers that the good life is the life that is forlorn, miserable, introverted, and separated from society is making a serious mistake. The actual suppression of man's appreciation for beauty is desperately detrimental. The individual who has not a warmth within himself, a natural kindliness, who does not realize the importance of curbing the unkind word because it hurts. The individual with proper normal emotions does not want to hurt any living thing. There is sympathy, there is compassion, there is self forgetfulness, and there is freedom from this tremendous egocentricity in which the individual thinks.
Travel in those directions. In some there are built-in impediments. Even projection from your universe into a universe of antimatter is most difficult. For example, the electromagnetic makeup even of your thoughts would be adversely affected, and yet theoretically this is possible from one of these adjacent levels of consciousness. Often you visit such areas of consciousness in the dream state where you fall into them spontaneously, remembering in the morning a fantastic dream. Consciousness must use all of its parts and activities, even as the body must. When you are sleeping, therefore, your consciousness turns itself in many of these directions, often perceiving, willy-nilly, bits and pieces of reality that are available to it at its different stages. This also happens beneath your normal physical focus to some extent, even as you go about your waking activities. The alternate presents of which I spoke are not simply alternate methods of perceiving one objective present. They are many alternate presents, with you focused only in one of them. When you let your attention waver, however, you may often fall into a state in which you momentarily perceive glimpses of another alternate present. The whole self, the soul, knows of its reality in all such systems, and you, as a part of it, are working toward the same state of self-awareness and development. When you are proficient, you will not be swept willy-nilly into other stages of consciousness as you sleep, but will be able to understand and direct these activities. Consciousness is an attribute of the soul, a tool that can be turned in many directions. You are not your consciousness. It is something that belongs to you, to the soul. You are learning to use it. To the extent that you understand and utilize the various aspects of consciousness, you will learn to understand your own reality, and the conscious self will truly become conscious. You will be able to perceive physical reality because you want it, knowing it to be one of many realities. You will not be forced to perceive it alone out of ignorance. The various levels of consciousness discussed here may appear to be very divorced from ordinary waking ones. The divisions are quite arbitrary. These various stages all represent different attributes and directions inherent within your own soul. Clues and hints of them, shadows and reflections appear even in the consciousness that you know. Even normal waking consciousness, then, is not innocent of all other traces of existence, or devoid of other kinds of awareness. It is only because you usually use your waking consciousness in limited ways that you do not encounter these clues with any regularity. They are always present. Following them can give you some idea of those other directions, and those other levels of which we have spoken. Often, for example, seemingly unrelated symbols or images may rise into your mind. Usually you ignore them. If instead you acknowledge them and turn your attention to them, you can follow them to several other layers, at least, for example, the 1 and the 2, with ease. The symbols or images may change as you do so that you perceive little similarity between, say, the initial image and the next one. The connection may be highly intuitional, however, associative and creative. Often a few moments reflection afterward will allow you to see why the one image merged into the other. A single image may suddenly open up into an entire mental landscape, but you will know none of this if you do not acknowledge the first clues that are just beneath present awareness, and almost transparent if you are only willing to look. Alternate focus is merely a state in which you turn your consciousness in other than its habitual direction, in order to perceive quite legitimate realities that exist simultaneously with your own. You must alter your perception to perceive any reality that is not geared practically toward material forms. This is something like looking out of the corner of your eye or mind, rather than straight ahead. Using alternate focus, with practice it is possible to perceive the different physical formations that have filled any given area of space, or that will fill it in your turn. In some dream states you may visit a particular location and then perceive the location as it was, say, 3 centuries ago and 5 years hence, and never understand what the dream meant. It seems to you that space can be filled only by a given item at a time, that one must be removed to make room that you only perceive in this fashion. In alternate focus you can dispense with the root assumptions that usually guard, correct, and limit your perception. You are able to step aside from the moment as you know